To be honest, I didn't want to come back to Ghana.
Why?
And I started noticing how free I am when I'm here. It's like a stress-free zone. So I started rethinking again. When I went, I was working maybe 2-3 jobs at a time and stuff like that.
What?
At some point, I think I slept while I was driving because I was too tired, and then I had an accident.
What?
Yeah. Since then, I started rethinking this whole I want to make money thing. Even in the States, people have jobs that they hate. But there's one thing that keeps you going, the money, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people here that make money. He's never traveled. He has like 2-3 houses. He just sells laptops and phones.
Have you heard the cases where other diasporans came down here, got lands for free, and sold to their brothers at
higher rate?
Yeah.
I will assume that will happen. These people come from a capitalist world, so we think like that.
People say year of return is a money grab from African Americans. What do you think of it? The more expensive an item is, the better it is.
Yeah, it's not always right. Sometimes Gucci t-shirt is just a freaking t-shirt with Gucci printed on it. There's nothing special to it. Coffee shops, pubs, gas stations, you start thinking of those things where this money goes, and then you tap into that. That's your money.
A Ghanaian want to go to the diaspora, the US, work for some time, gather money, come back home. What industry do you think they should venture into in this state?
As soon as you get into it, you can hit 100 grand per year real quick.
What would you think would make it very difficult for people to move down here?
A lot of people just exist. They don't live.
Really? In Ghana here?
It's everywhere. I want to live. I don't want to exist. Most people don't live. The only thing they have time for is work. When the money comes, more of that goes into bills. You are just existing. It's really easy to get trapped in that system where you work and you pay bills, you work and you pay bills. That's all you do. When you hit 60, do you still want to be in the workforce working, or you just want to be that old grandpa chilling with grandkids? Once you think of that, then think about where that is easily achievable. And I think Ghana is often one of the places that you can easily get that.
Hello guys, and welcome back again to another amazing episode. And this is the Diaspora Transition episode, where we have dialogue with diasporan currently living here on the continent who moved back or even transitioning into the continent. So today we do have here someone very special. He's transitioning from the USA to Ghana at the moment with his family, and he's here on the show to share his story, why he decided to embark on this journey. Without further ado, Joey, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, I know you a little bit. I mean, I did research on you before this interview. People watching you might not know who you are. They only see a handsome man with a nice beard. But briefly introduce yourself to the people watching you for the first time.
My name is Joey Mensah. Currently in the United States, I would say kind of transitioning, but yeah. So I would just say currently in the United States, in Colorado. Born and raised Kumasi, Ghana, from Tafo. What else? I'm not really good at introducing myself. I guess
so Tafo is where you were born?
Yeah, I was born and raised.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when did USA came into the picture?
About 14 years ago.
14 years
I think
ago.
it just landed on my lap. It's one of those lottery ones. So.
Oh wow! So it was a lottery.
Yeah.
Or you won a lottery, went to the USA
Yeah.
at 14 years old.
No, like 14 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Talk to me about that transitioning into the American system, growing up, living a life in the USA to a point where you felt like considering coming back to your roots and stuff like that.
So I would say from Kumasi, I really loved Kumasi. Like, this is my place. Usually I don't even stay in Accra a lot.
Really?
But I've always enjoyed Ghana. I think it's just the vibe that I get to deal with people, talking to them, chilling and stuff like that. Even when you don't really know people, you can just, have a cool conversation, a short conversation, even with the cops, and just, keep pushing. So it's one of the things that I really enjoyed. So transitioning to the States, I think when I went, it was more like I want to make money. It was
the
like
grind
that.
mode.
Yeah, it was like in the grind mode. So I was working maybe 2-3 jobs at a time and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah. At some point, I think I slept while I was driving because I was too tired. And then since then, I started kind of rethinking this whole...
You slept while you were driving?
Yeah, I was really tired. I think I was coming from my third job early in the morning around 7 a.m. and I was really tired. So I kind of passed out for a minute, and then I had an accident.
What?
Yeah. I think that was 2012, I believe.
Really?
2011 or 2012.
Guys, where we are filming is called Gender Place. Gender Place is a co-working space located in East Legon, very close to American House. If you're working remotely and then you need somewhere to, use the internet with nice ambience, restaurant, Gender Place is the place for you. Don't look anywhere else.
But I think since then, I started kind of rethinking this whole I want to make money thing. Like, it didn't really become a thing for me like that anymore. Because then at that point, you start to think, okay, what if I make all this money?
What is
and
priority?
Then, and then you are not here to enjoy it. Then what is the point? So I started thinking, no, I actually want to enjoy life instead of...
What kind of jobs were you doing? 3 jobs? You said 3 jobs.
Oh, man.
I mean, let's talk about it. What was it?
Those were like the bottom jobs.
The bottom jobs.
Yeah. So I started, at that time I was doing Crown Plaza Hotel. I was like the guy that comes in and set the bed and do all that stuff. I was doing Comcast cleaning stuff. So there was, it was a third party, I believe. I think it was a third party that did have a contract with another big company, so you clean their cable boxes and stuff. So I would go in and clean those as well. And then in the night, I worked for Walmart as an overnight stalker. Yeah, so usually like I work Walmart overnight. In the morning around 7, I'll go home, take a little bit of nap, go do the box cleaning and stuff, wake up around 12 or 1 in the afternoon, go to the Crown Plaza, go do the hotel cleaning and all that stuff. And come back home and sleep like an hour or 2, get up around maybe 7, 8 p.m. And then go to my night shift and do the overnight stalking and basically
That's
repeat.
A lot.
Yeah.
How much money were you making?
Not enough.
Not enough? Nah. After doing all that?
Nah, because then at that time, I think it was... Because remember, that time too, like, the cost of living, everything wasn't that up.
It was
so it was like
then.
at the bottom pay. Even the Walmart was, I think, the one that paid me the most. And that was like $9 an hour, something like that.
And you were working for how many hours?
Throughout the night. So I think it was 8-hour shift, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. Or maybe 12 hours, actually. I think it was 7 to 7. Yeah.
So as soon as you go to America, you just knew that you had to do this to be able to make a living?
At that point, yes, because it's more like, okay, you're here, what are you going to do? You need a place to stay, you need to do this, you need that. So you need to like find a job and start working. But then, I was straight into it, like I want to work and make money. Because in Ghana, before I left, I was that kind of person. Like I was always thinking, like I want to
how can I make
get money?
Quick?
Yeah, how can I get my money going? I was that type. So as soon as I got there, it was like an easy transition. Okay, let's go get some money. Yeah, it was basically like that.
Did you have like family there, or you didn't know anybody at all?
In the States?
Yeah.
So when I first went, I was in a state that I didn't know nobody. So I lived with somebody that my girlfriend at the time had introduced me to. And I lived with her for a little bit. But I wasn't feeling it because, the way she was, I'm not saying she was a bad person. She's actually a really great person. And I've been trying to get hold of her, but I can't.
Why?
At some point you just want to go back and say thank you. It was that kind of thing. Yeah, but I lived with her at that time, but I wasn't feeling it then. So I was like, nah, I want to get out. So I reached out to my sister in Colorado, and that's how I moved to Colorado. And everything took off from there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So 14 years ago, that journey started for you.
Yeah.
At what point did you begin? I mean, you met your wife in the state?
Yes.
Okay. And how many kids do you have now?
3.
3. So all your kids were born in the state?
Yes.
Not interested. At what point did you begin to kind of look back to Kumasi State to see, can I just go back home? And what happened? What kind of triggered that for you?
I think it was my mom. To be honest, I didn't want to come back to Ghana before.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
There was a point that I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't see why I should go back. So at some point I was like, that I'm not gonna do it. But I think the first time returning was like, I think 2015. I didn't like it either because when I came, it was the Doomso time.
Yeah. I
was supposed to spend like a month. I spent 2 weeks and I dipped because the lights out was too much. I couldn't stand it. It was like, I think I came in and in the first week, I was lights out throughout. The second week, about the same, about lights out for 2 days. And I was like, all right, we're going to be fine. And then the third day, the light came on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to enjoy some air conditioning. As soon as I turned on the AC, about 30 minutes,
The lights went off.
the light went off and I got pissed off.
So you took your bag.
So I just called him and I'm like, I want to change my ticket. And then I did. So that was it for me. I was like, I'm not coming back. And then around 2018, my mom was still here. So I was like, okay, I need to come get my mom. And then between that time was when, you know, my mom was like, yo, you should build a house, you know, get you some. I'm like, yeah, I don't really need it. But then she was on me all the time and I wanted to make her happy. So I was like, okay, I'll do something. So that is how it started with, okay, trying to get a house in Ghana. That's how it started from. It was my mom pushing me.
Wow.
Like, get you a house, you know, build something, even if it's small.
You started building?
Yeah, so I started building. I'm actually done with it. I'm just kind of
really?
doing the interior work stuff and all that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with We Belong in Africa.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, We Belong in Africa. I think his name is Awilo, I believe. He was actually at my place in Kumasi not long ago. You know, shooting the place. We did a little bit interview and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Your mom kind of draw your attention to Ghana, and that building kind of made you kind of look to Ghana.
Yes. So I started building, and then I think when I came from my mom was like 2018. So around 2019, I started putting up the structure while my mom was with me. Because even when she was with me, she was on me. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then I started putting that up. And I think around, closer to when my mom passed, around 2020 to 2021-ish, I started thinking,
I'm sorry to hear that.
I think I want some kind of freedom. Like, because when I came for her, the light was good at that time. And then I started noticing how free I am when I'm here. It's like a whole different environment. It's like a stress-free zone. So around 2018, I'm like, man, this place is kind of less stressful. Like, I kind of enjoyed it when I was there. So I started rethinking again, like, okay, maybe, because even though I was building, I wasn't really on it like that. It was like...
It was just like, you get some money.
Yeah, I would throw some money on it and get some things done. But I wasn't really like on it like that. But around 2018, I was like, I like that feel. You know, like you feel at ease, you're not worried about anything. You feel so much at peace. I'm like, I like that. I want that. So I started rethinking of, okay, how can I be here, you know, permanently, or at least spend half of the time here. That's how that thought started.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. How has it been for you? I mean, trying to even come visit. How's the experience been compared to previously? The two visits you came, 2015.
So I was here 2015, 2018, and that's when I started thinking, okay, I kind of like this. And then I got back 2021. I was coming every 3 years, and then from 2021, I kind of been here since. Like I'm here every year, most of the time. Yeah.
And you're enjoying it, obviously.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Ghana is so less stressful that when I'm here, I feel so much at peace. I think.
Because what is it though? I hear people say this a lot. What do you think is it for you? Is it because your family is here? Is it because...
I don't really have like a real... Well, I do have blood relatives, but not in my nuclear family. Okay. So in my nuclear family, which is like my siblings birthed by my mom and my dad, I don't have nobody here.
Really?
Yeah, they're all in Germany.
Oh, wow.
So I'm kind of like alone here. And in their extended family, I don't remember the last time I talked to them. Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
But you still kind of feel at home when you...
I still feel at home. I think it's just because when you come and you're not thinking about the bills to pay or the other things, because like I've been saying it a lot recently, even though you have the money to pay the bill, the fact that you are constantly reminded you have a bill,
it gives you the anxiety.
It gives you this kind of stress on your mind sometimes. Sometimes I think we might not even be thinking about it, but it's this heavy burden that sits on your shoulders that you take care of things. You have the money to pay it, all right, but you are constantly reminded you need to pay something. Like, oh, the month is almost up. I need to pay a mortgage. I need to pay this. I need to pay that. So even though you have the money, that burden is really still on your shoulders. But in Ghana, it's kind of different because when you get here, it feels like you have no problem at all. Especially if you have like your home.
It feels like you have no problem or you have no problem at all. Because
you do, I would say. You do, because then you will still have some things you need to take care of. You still have to buy food, obviously. You still have to deal with, let's say, electricity and stuff like that. But it's not a constant press on you to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, you are not constantly remembered, like, you're reminded that you know, you need to pay Excel or you need to pay electricity or, no, it's not like that.
Let's talk about, America a little bit. I had a gentleman on the show called Kwab Asamoah. He's the CEO for Custom Looks, and he's also an African, Ghanaian diasporan who lived in America for over the years, and he's huge in fashion. And he made a mention, he said something like, most African Americans living in the United States can't even afford to move to Ghana or Africa. Why? Because what you just mentioned, they are always kind of paying bills, car notes, some people even can't afford to watch DSTV because of how, the system is. What would you say to that?
I'm not sure about can't afford to. So he meant can't afford to live here in Ghana.
Can't afford to move.
To move to Ghana.
Yeah.
To some extent, he's right. Yeah, because I think when you start stacking up bills, it is hard to just go away
Let's
from
elaborate
it.
on that. What do you think would make it impossible or very difficult for an African American, you being a Ghanaian and living up close and seeing the society, what would you think would make it very difficult for people to move down here?
Nothing really.
Nothing really.
Except maybe, job security and stuff like that. Yeah, but other than that, I think nothing can really stop you. Because then if you have whatever bill you have, you can get rid of it. You can get rid of it if you want. So let's say you have a car note and you decide to move to Ghana. Just get rid of the car. That's all.
So when you get rid of the car, you don't have to pay the car note anymore.
Yeah, you can sell it. You can just sell it, pay off the car. You don't own no car. So let's say you have a mortgage. You can just rent it to somebody. You don't have a mortgage no more. If you don't have a mortgage no more, you don't have a light bill no more. If you don't have a mortgage, you don't have a water bill. So a lot of things can just go away if you really wanted to. But what makes it impossible in most people's minds is, like if you have kids. It's not that it's impossible, it's hard to do if you have kids. Because then you start, because you know how when you have kids now, you don't think for yourself. Most of the time you're thinking for your kids. And, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do it? How are they going to school, especially? So usually when you have kids, that is where the problem really is. Other than that, most things you can really get rid of.
Now, you making the move, I mean, you did your transition, obviously. You moved back and forth, Ghana, the US, and stuff like that. Coming down here with your kids, how was that like for you? Trying to set the whole thing up with your wife, convincing your wife. Did you convince your wife? Or how was that conversation?
She's actually convincing me.
She was the one?
Yeah.
How was that like, I always say that moving to Ghana or Africa as a single is different. But moving as a family or a unit is also, it's very complex compared to
I think it has to be an easy process, which is one thing that I'm really basically going through. That's why I said I'm here and I'm there. It has to be an easy process because you can't just get up and then one day you're here. It won't work. With kids, usually, obviously, you have to, make sure the kids are comfortable, And I always say that however they live out there, try as much as you can to get it for them. So if in the States they had their own rooms and stuff, you make sure if you're trying to do that, that they get their own rooms and stuff. Because then if your kids, let's say you have 2 kids, and then each of them got their own rooms, and then all of a sudden you trying to move to Ghana, or you just got up one day and said, I moved, and you got into a 1-bedroom apartment. And now your kids are living in, a 1-bedroom, sleeping on the floor in the living room and stuff. Yeah, you might not enjoy it. Because then once they start giving you trouble, you don't even feel comfortable. So once you make them comfortable, you feel like ease, because kids will bug you with a lot of petty little things. So, you know, if you start doing that, then it will make it, so let's say, however they are over there, you try to get it for them, you know, like their rooms, air conditioning, because over there we don't have a problem with air conditioning, but in Ghana you can if you are not, you know, putting things in place. Your kids might not enjoy the heat, so they will be on you all the time, you know, so stuff like that, you take care of it. But most importantly, probably school, which is one of the biggest things that most of the people that I talk to pretty much talk about. Like, hey, you know, I want to wait for my kids to get to high school and stuff, which is usually after these people get to like 60s and stuff.
But that time you're almost close to, I mean,
close to death.
I didn't want to say it.
Close to death. I mean, I think everybody's different, right? So sometimes I don't want to say people are making choices. I can say if, you know, whatever choice that I'm trying to make, it might not work for me, right? So I wouldn't say it is for you to also think like that, or everybody to think like that. So, hey, if somebody else feels like I want to wait for my kids to graduate or do whatever, okay, so be it. But on the other side are those that I think, okay, what about another route to go that I can have my kids here? Because I know a Ghanaian that, you know, he pretty much said to me, yeah, my wife and kids are in Ghana, they never really come back. I'm the only one that comes back for a little bit, and then I return to Ghana. My kids go to school in Ghana, they do everything in Ghana. But most people don't want to like move their kids from the United States school system to a Ghanaian school system. They don't like that transition.
Because I've heard someone say why in the comment section. So I remember an African American man moved together with his family and his child, and his child was, one of his sons was playing football, American football, and you know in Ghana we don't play American football. So the guy moved down here. I don't think he was schooling at that time. So he stopped schooling and he was not playing American football anymore. So the comment section was crazy, going crazy. And they were like, why are you taking the opportunity away from your child from playing, you know, becoming the footballer that he wants to become, and then, you know, bringing him to Ghana where he's, you know.
So they moved?
I don't know what it is now, but, you know, they moved down here. That's what I know. But I don't know if they went back or whatever. But then people criticize that a lot. Do you think you'd be taking opportunities away from your children by moving them down here to Ghana to study, to grow up here?
You can, depending on, you know, where your kids is at, right? So if your kid, like the example that you just gave, if the kid is already interested in football, already playing the football, already serious about it, and then maybe you shouldn't just take that away from him. Do you get what I mean? Like, you shouldn't just turn the lights off like that in a snap. I don't think that would be good. But then every parent is different. The parent knows what he sees. Maybe the parent probably thinks, hey, he's not really great at it, and he might not really go far. It will be hard to convince him, but then, you know, if we go, he will gradually forget about it. You know, because with those kind of games like basketball, football, you got to be the top 1%. You got to be the elite to get into it. You can't just be there, you know, the guy that is okay. No, you got to be it. You got to be the one that people see and go, oh, shoot, I want him. You know, so I wouldn't say the parent did the bad thing bringing the kid here, because it's that parent's, you know, choice and what he sees, right? But I would say if your kid is really great, you watch your kid play and you go, man, he can be somebody. He's already showing the interest. He's already with it. Yeah, I wouldn't say don't take that away.
So you live in the U.S. and you embark on the journey yourself?
Maybe find a way around it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I'm not really a sports fan like that. But I think those footballs play by season. So you can find a way around it. Maybe you live in between Ghana and United States. Make sure your kid is still able to play and still able to live in Ghana. Because then if you live half of the time here, you are here.
Yeah, you are technically here. Okay.
Because I think in the States, I do believe in the States, if you live in the state for 6 months, you live there.
You live there, okay.
Yeah, so You can be here 6 months, you know, 6 months there. Make sure your kid is playing. Make sure you live here. Yeah, you live here.
Call
you live
yourself
there.
bicontinental.
You know, but yeah.
Let me put you on the spot a little bit. I had a lady. She goes by the name. Shout out to you, the African superstar. And she said Ghanaians in the diaspora that she know of are not that patriotic, right? And they always talk negative about Ghana. If you try to tell a Ghanaian who came from Ghana in America that, hey, listen, I saw this, you know, picture or whatever about Ghana, Africa, and I want to go, they will be the one to tell you that, you know what, there's nothing there. There's doomsday. There's they'll kind of, you know, they're not patriotic. And from what you just mentioned, your mom was trying to pull you down here. Your wife is convincing you. Talk to me. Why do you think you feel that type of way, that you don't really kind of, you know, until your mom came into it or your wife convinced you?
I think usually it's more about the difference in system. You know, there are so many things in Ghana that personally I would say I'm not a big fan. But
let's talk about the details.
So I'm not a big fan of their driving.
Okay.
They drive like crazy. In Kumasi, there is pragya everywhere, like where my house is. Like they literally push their vehicles to the side of the road.
Pragya is what?
The yellow one that looks like the Indian car, that one. Yeah, in Kumasi so it's not everywhere in Kumasi, but from Tafo to like Mampontin, they own that street. That's theirs.
And they drive very carelessly.
Oh yes, really bad. You know, and you are careful because you don't want them to scratch your car, because at the end of the day, even if they scratch your car, they can't fix it. What are you going to do? You can get them in prison or whatever you want to do, but then they still can pay you for it. It won't really fix anything. So I'm not a big fan of that. But I think for me, even considering like, okay, Ghana is a place I want to spend more time, is because I put something else above everything else that I'm not a big fan of. And I think that is what people should look at. So what is it that you want so bad that you think, okay, because of that, I would do all this? Because like even in the States, people have jobs that they hate. But there's one thing that keeps you going, the money, right?
Yeah.
So there's one thing that you like so much that you are willing to go to this job that you hate, right, for it. So that is how I think people should look at it. Because if you look at Ghana by itself, like you're saying, people tell you there was doomsday here, there was this here, there was that here. Yeah, but then if there is one goal that you're trying to get to, you think of that, and then everything else is like, I'll figure out a way around it.
Are you connected to the Ghanaian society in the States, or do you have
States?
do you have a community there?
Yes.
How was the conversation about Ghana like within that community?
Not bad at all. Because so the folks that I'm usually with, the Ghanaian community that I'm really in, like let's say the boys group that I'm in, they fuck with Ghana. They're here all the time. They were here last year for just a birthday party. They were here the year before that for a wedding. Like they love to come here. I think I haven't had that conversation with a lot of people where I know they are planning to move, but I know they're not the kind that talk shit about Ghana. Okay. So they're not the kind of people that will say, you know, negative stuff about Ghana. They enjoy being here. So I don't know if they're trying to move out here, but I know they enjoy being in Ghana. They will not talk bad about it.
They'll ease into it.
Yes. Yeah. They're not going to talk bad about it.
Speaking about easing into it, let's speak, because a lot of people watching this video want to move down here, even African Americans, to build for themselves. A lot of people bought land and were duped. You know, serious people buy.
I guess that's one of the things that you can say I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. Have you experienced that before?
Yeah. I still have a land that...
Do you want to share that story?
Yeah, so I have a land that I purchased, right? And paid the chief and everything. And the chief just sold it to somebody else. And then said, okay, you take the other one right there. But I sold this one to the other person.
How much did you pay?
It was little at that time. I think it was like 150 million. So
that's like 15,000 CDs now. Those like $1,500.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
still a lot of money.
Yeah, but right now that might not really get you a nice
land.
piece of land, land. But at that time, I was like, yo, that's still my land, though. And then the other person, they took the land and I had blocks and everything on it. The chief added it to them and said, this is yours. I'm like, no, it's not yours, it's mine. And so when I went back and I tried to talk to the person, I said, no, the chief gave it to me.
You can't take it from that
No,
person.
it wasn't my blocks, it was my sand. And then they used my sand
to build the blocks.
to get blocks. Yeah. And then they said the chief gave it to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So not only did they take your land, they take the sand to build blocks.
Yep. They take your sand and then get their own blocks with it.
Ghana is fascinating, isn't it?
So there are, like I was saying, those things where you are like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of. But I think, personally, the top thing that I look at is how I want to live my life in my elderly ages.
When you get older.
Yeah. I don't want to be stuck in the workforce. So I think that has been my goal the whole time.
Let's slow down a little bit on that part, right? Building in Ghana, the experience, like you were duped, the chief took your money, so did the land, and gave the land to another person. I'm sure by that person who is building the blocks, he has already sold that to somebody else, right? Experiencing that and not giving up to finding a different land. Talk me through that process to building that this house that you have going on right now.
Well, that land was after this one.
Oh, after this one?
Yes, that land was after this one. So after I had this piece of land where my mom was convincing me to get it and all that, I decided, okay, let me get it. So once I started thinking, okay, Ghana is the thing now, I started thinking of, other pieces of land. So I started trying to get other, plots. And that's what happened with that one. The chief gave me something else, which wasn't the best because it had a slope and everything. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't it. But what can you say? The chief says, this is yours now. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. But in terms of, the price of building this, that's what you asked. So I want to make sure I got your question. So when I got this one too had a problem. The problem with that is when I had it, I bought it from an individual person who also bought it from, it wasn't a chief, but it was the Kuntihine or something like that.
Kuntihine, okay.
Yeah. And then later on, about a year or two down the line, around 2018, 2019, there was a new chief that said, no, that piece of land is actually his and not for this family. So it was a back and forth. I think it went to Asantehene because Asantehene sits at the top. So Asantehene judged it and then said it's for this guy and not really for the first guy. Which means whoever it is that purchased the land here, you don't really have a land. It's really for this guy now. So, the new person stopped everything. Like, you can't work, you can't do anything. You got to pay me now because this is my land. But, he stopped it. Wherever it is that you build to, that's where you stuck till you pay him your money. Yeah, so a lot of people in our community, they haven't even finished it. Yeah, but they live in it. Ghanaians can do that. So I will not do it because I will want to get like a certain house before I will say, okay, I live here. But a lot of people around me, they live in it. So when he came, he requested for new money. Like, hey, this is my land now. Or whoever you paid to, it wasn't his. So basically, you bought like a stolen property. So pay me now. And he requested at that time, 2021, I think $8,000.
$8,000.
8. So I have 2. So it's half an acre, which is 2 plots, right? So he wanted, I think, $4,000 a piece. Wow. Yeah.
That's not cheap,
Yeah, it's not. But I mean, at that time, I wanted to do it because I was small about, okay, I want to finish this now. Because that was when my mom had passed. And because she was the one that, started this whole thing.
You didn't want to let it go.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I want to finish this. Yeah. So I paid him and then I kept doing my work. So I think in my community, I'm like that one completed house that sits there and a lot of houses around it. You know, I'm not really done.
Interesting. Would you say trying to put up a building in Ghana was a hassle?
It can be if you don't find the right person. Luckily for me, maybe it's a blessing. I've always had amazing people in my corner that are like family. You know, so even after my mom was gone, I had the brother that took over that was overseeing the building of it. His name is Nane Japan. He's also a chief.
Okay.
Yeah. He took over. He did amazing work, but he started getting busy because his wife traveled and he got 3 kids. So then another brother of mine, you know, took over, and he's the one that basically finished everything. So he did amazing work.
You had someone you can trust on ground in real time, taking care of everything.
Taking care of everything.
So you just send the money over, and then he just go
and then he
contract everybody and take care of it for you. Wow, that's amazing.
I think that's where the hassle is. So if you know, when people say there are challenges, that can be your challenge. Finding the right person that will do it for you, right?
Now, I see you, I mean, you have a family here, obviously. Now, for our brothers in the diaspora, African Americans, if they want to embark on a journey to Africa, Ghana, build for themselves, mind you, they don't know anybody like you did, you know, will you advise them to go for it? And if yes, what advice would you give to them on things to watch out for, or, you know?
Well, if you solve the first problem, there won't be a lot to watch out for. That is what I would say. If you find the right person, there won't be a lot to watch out for. But one thing I would say is, I wouldn't say just go for it. I would say, you know, I will ask you what your reason is first. You know, what is really like the motive behind all this. Because I think if you have a good reason, then, you know, it's okay to go for it. But if your reason is, yeah, everybody's doing it, I want to do it, you don't really have a reason. You know, you might throw a lot of money into something that you will not really like later on, and that will be a waste of your time and your money. And you can't get that time back. Time is everything.
True.
So, you know, if that is your goal, just because you see a lot of people doing it, and so you just want to do it, it's like, yeah, that's not good enough. But if you have a real reason, like, I want to get to the point where I feel relaxed and enjoy living. Because a lot of people just exist. They don't live.
Really? In Ghana here?
In Ghana, in the diaspora, in the Western world, everywhere. It's everywhere. People just exist. People don't live. They exist. They don't enjoy life. They're just there, you know. But if your goal is, no, I want to stop existing and I want to live, and so I'm trying to build this place in Ghana that is like my own little paradise, that I will come in and live here and then enjoy life here, then go for it. Yes, I would say go for it.
Do you think it's actually possible to make money here in Ghana based on your own personal assessment?
A lot of people here make money. I know a lot of people here that make money.
Really?
The brother that took over my property for me, he's never traveled. He has like 2-3 houses.
Oh, wow.
And he just sells laptops and phones. Huh? So if you know how to hustle, you can get it.
Wow.
You know, it's hard. I wouldn't say it's easy. I wouldn't say it's like that you can easily just get it done. No, I wouldn't say that. It's hard, but if there is a will, there is a way, right? But back to the other question though, so like if you decide you want to do this and there is a good reason behind it, then the other thing is to find that one person that you can trust. If you are like an African American that don't really know nobody, you might have some struggle with that, but you still have to. But
you see, our brothers most often confine in their own people who move down here, who have no experience. They would rather confine in that person than to confine in the local who knows the right people to help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the thing is that the locals, just because you don't know them, there's always one, a trust issue, and two, there can always be this thought that even if I take advantage of him, he will know. So there was always that. And I think, you know, that explains why they want to confide in, you know, people that are like them, that moved down here and they don't have the experience, but at least they somewhat, to some extent, trust. It will be hard to just find a local and just decide, build something for me. I'm going to throw money at you to build something, you know, because that's a lot of money that will come in all the time. And me, even as a Ghanaian, might not even do it. You know, I will want to find somebody that I know I can trust this person. Like, I can walk out of my house and hand you my keys, and I know you got it. You know, I want to find that person. So I think that is what they find. The difference is that maybe even the foreigners that live here that they are confiding in, they don't even know them like that.
But they feel more safe with them than the local.
It's the same.
It's the same.
You don't know them.
You don't know them.
Yeah, it's the same. So in that case, if you don't know them personally, I would rather trust the local than the other person that has no experience.
Have you heard the cases where other diasporans came down here, got lands for free, and sold to their brothers at a higher price? Have you heard?
No, but I will assume that will happen. Not yet, but hey, it's a capitalist world. I mean, the Ghanaian community, Ghana as a whole, it's not really like a capitalist society, right? But these people come from
a capitalist world.
A capitalist world. So we think like that. So, hey, I won't knock his hustle, but I would just say, you know, just don't overprice it too much. Because I always believe in if you do too bad, it will come back and bite you.
Karma.
You know, like it will get you one way or the other. So, hey, there's no wrong in getting profit from something that you sold. But if you overprice it and you were making so much profit that it's just crazy, it's like, that is not a profit. That's duping somebody, and that's not cool.
You know how they say the more expensive an item is, the better it is. So
I think that's business. I think I studied that in business somewhere. I remember when, you know, I was doing some of my business classes and stuff. But it's not always right. Sometimes Gucci t-shirt is just a freaking t-shirt with Gucci printed on it.
That's it.
There's nothing special to it.
That's it. Talking about business, what kind of businesses do you think diaspora watching this should venture into here in Ghana that has the potential to turn out great or make some profit?
The ones that I can think of on top of my head are really hard to do, but then if they can do it, that would be great. So that is how I look at it, right? Every year, how many foreigners come into the country? A lot. A lot, yeah. I think somewhere 2018,
2019, they had over 100,000.
Over 100,000. I had 200,000.
200,000.
But let's just go with 100,000, right? How much money do you think these people spend?
$20,000 each.
$20,000 each?
Because Ghana made $2 billion.
Ghana made $2 billion, right?
From there.
Okay, good. Let's just say 100,000 people, they individually on average spend $5,000. Just $5,000. Where is that money? It's stuck in the country, right? It didn't go nowhere. So now you have to start thinking, where did these people spend their money? Where did these visitors? Coffee shops, pubs, gas stations. Okay, so you start thinking of those things, where this money goes, and then you tap into that. That's your money. Because I always say the local people in Ghana that are very rich, they are rich because it's our money. Because they made sure to position themselves so well. It's like a barrel.
Right in the middle of it.
You know, it's like, you know, when it's raining and in the olden time, they have like a barrel beneath it and the water just falls right into it. It's like that. Like these rich people in Ghana position themselves like a barrel. And then the foreigners, the visitors, everybody coming into Ghana, when you come, wherever you spend your money, that's where their barrel is at.
So they collect it.
So when you throw your dollars, they got it.
So they are really making money from the foreign market, not necessarily within the Ghana system.
Not really, because think about it. How many Ghanaians actually are going to spend about $1,000 a month? No. Right? But American House Hotel will charge you $1,800 for a room. How many Ghanaians are really going to sleep in that room?
So they made those rooms for some certain kind of people.
So they made those rooms for the visitors and the people that really got the money to do conference and events and stuff. That hotel is for them. The hotel for the local ones is like $200 cedis a night.
Have you heard this, that people say about, year of return is a money grab from our African Americans brothers? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
What do you think of it? Your honest opinion, though.
I think there's a good intention behind it, but it is a money grab. Yeah, I think it's a good intention. Like, we want to expose Ghana to people and let people know this is a good place to be at when you think of Africa. This is good. But really, is that really all you really want to do? Nah, you just want the money.
Because it's good for the economy?
It's good for the economy, and I think the one thing that sometimes a lot of people complain about is that it's not about the money coming into the country, it's the money not going to the right places, right? Because I remember hearing about COVID tests, that they made a lot of money.
COVID levy? And
then I later on heard, well, those companies were from different countries though. So Ghanaians contracted different countries and did this, and then they gave Ghana a share. How is that even possible? That's what I heard, right? And I was like, what? But when you think about it, it's possible. Why? Because the person here is thinking, yeah, if I give it to the local, I want to make a lot. But if I contract a foreigner, man, he can tip me more. You know, we can just tell him, hey, charge them this, and I get that. There's always somebody behind something. You know?
Are you trying to say they are corrupt?
Not everybody. Not everybody is corrupt.
I think we were paying about $50 at the airport.
$50?
Well, no. For Ghanaians, it was $50.
For Ghanaians, yes.
But for foreigners,
it was like $150. Yes.
$150. So it was going to foreigners' pockets.
That's what I heard.
Interesting.
I wasn't a big fan when I heard it was.
I think I was
company.
in a flight coming to Ghana from China. And they told me if I don't pay that money, they'll not let me get on the flight.
On the flight, right?
I've paid my ticket and everything.
I don't think it's the, you said China, right? I don't think it's the Chinese trying to stop you.
No, it's not the Chinese. They told me, so I made them.
It's the local telling them.
Exactly.
Don't let them on the flight if they don't do it.
Yeah. But they let me anyway.
I'm sure sometimes, I don't know, maybe there is a fee to be paid if you let somebody on the flight that is not supposed to. I don't know. Maybe there is.
Maybe.
So
some
in instances like that, I
guess
there are some
I guess
rules
they paid
around
for
it.
me then.
Yeah.
Interesting. This has been a very great conversation. I want to go back to America a little bit. Let's talk about the hustle and bustle. What industry are you in the state? If you don't mind sharing.
I'll tell you personally.
really. Just give me some, the tip of the iceberg or whatever.
Let's just say the internet world.
The what? Internet world. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, because you look very, successful. Your beards are trimmed nice. You have your gold chain on.
I like to look successful.
You making money in the US? And if so, what industry? Because people are watching. I've had Jeffrey, right? Jeffrey is a very good friend of mine who believed that if he gets to America today with just his T-shirt and his trousers, in 2 years.
I think I've seen him.
Yeah, if you see him, you don't recognize him.
Yeah, I think I've seen him. The one that argues a lot about Ghana being trash, something like that, right?
Yeah. So people want to go because they see like diasporans coming, they look flashy, they look nice, they drive nice cars and stuff like that. So they want to be able to do the same thing. So
I mean, you can do that in Ghana. It will just take you a lot more time.
Of course.
But yeah, you can still do it.
So I'm just saying, okay, if someone a diaspora or a Ghanaian want to go to the diaspora, the US, work for some time, gather money, come back home to do some kind of business, what industry do you think they should venture into in this state?
To work or your own business?
No, okay, what kind of industry should they work for or work within in the state? Don't say internet.
I would say the tech world makes a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one thing I heard a lot of people say. I haven't personally, gotten into that.
To see, okay.
I think it's probably because I'm no longer like chasing money. So when people say, oh, you know, go into that world, you know, it makes a lot of money, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Like I want to live, I don't want to exist. You know, when I say that, I meant it.
Elaborate on that.
So like when I say I want to live, most people don't live. They don't have time for anything. The only thing they have time for is work. And when the money comes, about half or more of that goes into bills. They don't have time to do anything else. You are just existing. You are not doing anything. You are just working.
The whole of America?
I would say it's easy to get trapped in that. That's what I would say. It's really easy to get trapped in that system where you work and you pay bills, you work and you pay bills. That's all you do. But on the other side, you can put your life in, you know, right spots. But if somebody wants to go out there and just work and make good money, I would say go into the tech world, because it makes good money. From, you know, different sources that I've heard, they make over 6 figures. So it's like, okay, that's real good money. Go do that.
6 figures on the lower side or upper side?
On the lower side.
On the lower
it's
side.
like when you
So
when
like
you start
$100,000, $200,000 ish.
like starting around 100. So like as soon as you get into it, you can hit 100 grand per year real quick, or maybe even start there.
Okay.
So that's real good
That's
money
good,
too.
yeah.
Because shoot, I wish I started at 100 grand when I got there.
Yeah.
I started
You
at
were
like
working like
25 grand a year.
Walmart.
Yeah.
With the 3 jobs.
With the 3 jobs, I was making less than 50, I think.
Less than
Because
50.
2 of them were like part-time and 1 was full-time. So I think I was still making less than 50 grand.
A year.
Yeah.
That was 2012, right?
I think 2011. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Let's say 2000. So all the way from, I think I did it all the way from 11, 12, maybe a little bit 13-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, wow. Send a message to the people watching you in the diaspora, Ghana, your fans. No, before you do that, your YouTube channel. How did, with your wife, how did that come about? What inspired you to you know, do that?
So personally, I don't talk too much. Yeah. When I start talking a lot with you, it means there's something about you that my spirit likes. If not, yeah, I'm usually very quiet. I don't say a lot. But I talk I talk a lot with my wife. Like we talk a lot. And I loved, you know how like introverts are? Introverts like to be behind the scene and do it, but you don't see them, because then when you see them in person, they won't say nothing. It was more like that for me. So I always wanted to do like a podcast or, you know, something of that sort.
Like an audio podcast?
Yeah, like an audio, because that's pretty much how I started doing it, like an audio podcast. But my wife and I talk a lot. I have 2 YouTube channels, one that is just me and one that is with my wife, which is the one that a lot of people know, the one with my wife. We talk a lot, and then it was more like, okay, you know, I was trying to do a podcast with a friend of mine, but it wasn't going like that. Like we were still in the process of talking about it and stuff. So it was like, you know what, we talk a lot. What about we just turn on the mic and see how that goes? Yeah. And then it turned into that podcast that we have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think you've gathered a lot of followings. I mean, not crazy, but you've been able to build. What are some few key things that helped you throughout the growth process?
I think consistency. Yeah, because when it started, we were doing it more like, when we get to it, we get to it. And at some point, we were like, okay, let's try to be consistent with it and see how that goes. I think that's when we started seeing growth. And then we had issues with trying to transition and all that stuff.
Change of content?
Yeah. Not necessarily change of content, but then trying to transition from, you know, should we live in United States? Should we live in Ghana? So then we stopped uploading and stuff. So it kind of like died down a little bit slowly. But I think when everything is settled, you know, we probably get back up.
I like that. Now, send a message to your loved ones.
I'm not really good at that. I'm not really. I think this is what I would say to, you know, people that watch this, and especially like your channel, because people that watch it usually are looking for this type of information. Right. That is what I would say. Let's say this is my message to the loved ones. Yeah. Think about it as when you hit 60, 65, how do you see your life, right? Do you still want to be in the workforce working, or you just want to be that old grandpa chilling with grandkids and doing stuff like that.
In nature.
You know, I think that is more important. And once you think of that, then think about where that is easily achievable. And I think Ghana is often one of the places that you can easily get that. You can easily build your own home. You don't have to pay for a mortgage. You don't have to pay for water. You might pay internet here and there, lights here and there, not too much. But you can easily have that life. And I think people should always think about that. Like when you hit 60, 65, where do you see yourself?
And their retirement will probably go way further here in Ghana than they will in the state.
I think most people think about 401ks and stuff. Yeah, you might not even get to it before you pass. So start living now and start planning something for now than waiting for something that is built on stock. You might lose all that money anyways. So,
have you heard our brothers in the diaspora who look just like you and I say that they are not Africans before?
They are not Africans?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think of it?
So there are two times that I've heard. I've heard some other ones that were really crazy. They were called African descendants of slavery, like ADOS or something like that. Like, they were different. Like, some of the conversations, I heard that on Clubhouse. I was like, oh, like, they really didn't like Africans at all. Like, that shocked me. I was surprised. The other part is those that are like, yeah, I'm not African. I'm just, you know.
I'm black.
Hey, that is what I would say. If you think a certain way and it's not negatively impacting other people's life, is it really impacting others positively? Because it might be in a neutral ground. And I think everything that we do as human beings, I think we should always think of a bigger picture of society. And whatever we do should impact the society, right? So if you say, I'm not this, okay, cool. But what are you doing with what you think you are? Whatever it is that you think you are, what are you doing with it, right? Because somebody can say, I'm not black. But this same person that says I'm not black will be the one that helps a lot of Africans or donates to the needy and stuff. And the one that says, I am proud African and I'm a millionaire, but I don't help nobody. I got it all in my house. It's for just me and my family. I would rather choose the guy that says I'm not black, that helps build a community, than the one that says I am, but I won't help you.
That's good. That's
you know,
good one. Yeah.
So whatever it is that you think you are, okay, good. What are you doing with it?
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a very good answer.
So,
man, I appreciate you for coming on the podcast, the interview, you know, sharing your story, your experiences. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was nice. It was a nice conversation. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I do this because people want to move, but they have no roadmap. You know, they don't know where to go. You know, is it even possible? But I get people like yourself who come here and share their nitty-gritty, warn you not to go buy land that belongs to chiefs because it's always in dispute. Things like this help people, and that's why I'm very passionate about it. But it's not easy. It's expensive.
If you want to move, they can look me up.
Yeah, you can help them.
I can help them with a plan.
A plan.
Yeah.
How do people find you then?
My Instagram is Mensa.
Mensa?
Yeah, M3NSA_. Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the screen right here.
Yeah, I can help with a good plan as to how you can do it. Yeah. Me not being 100% here does not mean I can do it. It just means, I just have the luxury to just say, okay, let me hold on that for a second. I
think people would appreciate that. I'm sure people will reach out to you. I'm going to leave the details on the screen. Reach out to him. He has. I mean, you have a family here. I mean, the chief cousin that you mentioned that overlooked your
the one that overlooked the
because you said most of your family are in Germany. But in case the person need you on ground, how would that work?
On ground in Ghana?
Yeah.
The brother that basically took over and then built the house, like. I can give you guys the contact. Okay. He actually builds too, so if anybody is looking to build in Ghana, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
He does it for fun.
I'll put the video, the building you have your project on the screen so people actually see, what kind of architecture you're talking about. And I reach out to him. Now, the final thing I want to say is I've been a YouTube coach. I've been doing YouTube for 11 years. Web Nation Africa is one of my YouTube channels that I have that you will see my face on there. But I think when I came here in Ghana, I realized a lot of people are trying to make content, but they don't really see the revenue or get the right amount of, traction they need to be able to succeed at that. So I've dedicated my time now trying to help people. I created Influencer Fest, which is an event where we invite all the top creators here in this country and also in the diaspora.
Wow.
So we had people flying from the US, UK to come be at this event to share their ideas, their experience in content creation to help the locals. I really want to help content creators within Africa and also in the diaspora. If so far as you're a black person like me, I want us to, create our own content, control our own narrative. And me having 11 years of experience on YouTube, I want to offer that kind of knowledge and experience and everything I've learned to you. But it only comes at a price because I want to make sure you guys are very serious and you want to really make a change. So I have this email here, webnationafrica@gmail.com. If you want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, book me an hour. I'll have a chat with you, talk to you about what you want to do. The niche is, if it's going to help you, I'll let you know. If it's not going to help you, I'll let you know, because basically there's some niche that you're interested in that nobody want to watch. So as a content creator, it's advisable not to approach that niche. I'll give you all those kind of advices. Just reach out to me, and you will not regret it. So it's been an amazing one. Without further ado, peace out.